Guys, Matt here with another tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about Active Directory Domain Services. We're going to be installing Active Directory Domain Services, also known as ADDS, on a Server 2012 R2 box, and then we're going to promote this server to a domain controller. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is we want to go to Add Roles and Features. There's multiple ways to get in there in Server Manager. You can click on the main screen, Add Roles and Features. Or you can also go to the top right hand corner and click Manage and Add Rules and Features. Once you click on that, you'll get the Add Rules and Features wizard. First page it shows is before you begin. You can go ahead and click Next on that. Then it asks you the installation type. We're going to do a role-based or feature-based installation. Click Next. Next it asks you which server you want to install it on. We'll go ahead and install it on the server we're on right now. And we'll go ahead and change the name later. Go ahead and click Next. For server roles, we want to do Active Directory Domain Services. Go ahead and check that. And then it also suggests the features you should add with Active Directory Domain Services. So go ahead and click Add Features. Click Next. On the features pane, we already clicked what features we need, but you can always install extra ones. In this case, we don't need any extra ones, so we'll click Next. And then click Next again. And then now it's going to show you all the roles and features that you're installing. Go ahead and click Install. While this installation is going, I'll go ahead and pause the video, and then once it's completed, I'll go ahead and start it back up. Alright, so our installation is complete, so we'll go ahead and hit Close. Now if you notice in your notification pane, you have a notification up here. This is to promote the server to a domain controller. So go ahead and click on the link, Promote the server to a domain controller. And then on this window, we'll be selecting Add a New Forest, because that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to name our domain. So we'll do testdomain.com. Go ahead and click Next. It's going to check to make sure that names are already taken. Alright, so it passed that. Next, the forest functional level and domain functional level. Well, since we'll be promoting a 2008 R2 box later, we'll go ahead and change this to 2008 R2. We'll be making this a DNS server, domain name system, and a global catalog server since it's the first domain controller in our environment. Next is the DSRM password. So this is to do a recovery on Active Directory. So go ahead and make this password and document it somewhere. You can always change it later if you need to, if you forget this password, and I'll probably make a video on that too. Just that's something good to know how to do. Go ahead and click Next, and click Next again. Go ahead and let it load the NetBIOS name for your domain. Alright, it's got the NetBIOS name, so go ahead and hit Next. Now it's going to be showing you where it's going to be installing and saving the files. So the database folder is going to be on the C drive, log files, C drive, and sysvol files on C drive. You can change these. Microsoft has their own recommendations of where you should put these and how you should separate them, just for disk latency and other items. So I could probably add that in the description later on the article for that. For now, we're just going to keep them on the C drive. Go ahead and click Next. It's going to review our options: domain functional level, 2008 R2, global catalog, DNS server, location of our sysvol and our database file. Everything looks good. Go ahead and click Next. It's going to check our prereqs to make sure that everything's up to date, and this is going to go through just fine. So you can ignore those two. Good. Go ahead and hit Install. So now it's going to install and promote the server to the domain controller. This does require a reboot. So once the server reboots, we can go ahead and change the name of the server, just so we know the name of the server. Probably name it like ADDS01. So I'll go ahead and pause the video now, And then once this is complete, I'll start back up. It takes roughly, depending on the size of the domain and the size of the server, it could take a while. Not really the size of the domain. That's when you need to. So in some domains, if you have a large domain, you gotta replicate the data over to the new domain controller you set up. So there's another way of installing a domain controller, which I'm going to be showing you with the 2008 R2. It's going to be installation from media. So let's say you have a domain controller in a different WAN, or the WAN link is pretty far, and you got a different domain controller in a local area network. Um, you want to install from media just so replication isn't going over a several states, replicating all the data in the DIP file or your AD database. So we'll go ahead and pause and start after this. Actually, it looks like it says it's about to restart. Going to be logged out. In the background it says this server is successfully configured as a domain controller. It's restarting. And once we log in, we'll have new tools. We'll have Active Directory users and computers, which is one of the main things you'll be in. You also have sites and services, domains and trusts. So once this comes back up, we'll go ahead and show you a little bit of those. We'll probably mainly just go over Active Directory users and computers, and then the next video we'll do the 2008 R2 domain controller with installation for media, and then we'll go over the key components for Active Directory users and computers, sites and services, and domains and trust. Alright, looks like this server is about to come back up. We'll go ahead and pause the video, and once it comes back up, we'll start off. Alright, so our server's back up. Go ahead and log in. Change our password. Now, what we'll do first is we'll rename our domain controller. You can go through the control panel if you want. One way I can do it is I just right click and go to computer properties. And change settings. System properties window, hit change, hit OK. And then change your name, we'll call it ADDS01. OK. Restart, hit OK, close, and restart now. I'll go ahead and pause the video one more time. Alright, so we're logged back into our domain controller. Let's go ahead and log in me all the way in. We'll go ahead and we'll open up Server Manager, and we'll go ahead and open up Active Directory users and computers, and we'll create us an admin account real fast before we end this video. So go ahead and click on Server Manager if it doesn't pop up for you automatically. Wait for that to open. Also adding some PowerShell tips and tricks. I'll probably show you one before we end this video, just so there's a cool little trick you can do for checking server roles, see what's installed. You can do it remotely also, check other servers. So now we can go ahead and click on Tools, and we have all the Active Directory tools: Administration Center, Domains and Trusts, Windows PowerShell module, sites and services, and users and computers. So we'll open up Active Directory users and computers. I'll go ahead and minimize this. Alright, so here's Active Directory users and computers. For those of you who've never been in here before, I'll give a quick overview. So here's your domain. When you open up your expand your domain, these are the folders that when you promote a domain controller, these are the default folders it gives you. So if you create any new users with PowerShell or anything, they'll go to the default container, the users container. Same with computers, unless you specify otherwise. You have your built-in groups that are built in the Active Directory. You also have a couple other groups in here, just like DNS admins, domain computers, domain controllers, domain guest. Alright, so you notice guest is disabled by default. That's a security risk if you have it enabled, so always leave that disabled. Some places also recommend, like Microsoft also recommends that you rename the administrator password or the administrator account name. So rename it to something different instead of administrator, and also disable the account. And then if you ever need to later on, you can always enable it if you need to for some reason. So we'll go ahead and we'll create a new user in here. Actually, we'll create a new OU. So we'll create, right click on the domain, go to new organizational unit, and we'll make a admins, OU for admins. And this we'll make our account in here. So we'll go to right click in the right area, or you can right click on the OU, either way. You want to go to new, go to user, get your new user window. We'll just go ahead and name this one Matt, and we'll name him Matt. Go ahead and click next. We'll set him a password. Alright, and then you can make it to where the user must change password next logon. User can't change password at all. Password never expires, which is not recommended, or the account is disabled, which usually if you create an account and the person's not going to start in a week or two, you can just disable their account for now and enable it when they come in. Click next and click finish. Alright, so we have our account created. I recommend adding descriptions to accounts. So you can put admin account, and then put the person's name, and hit apply. You can also add notes for, you can add who created the account, or you can go to the telephones tab and put who created the account here. So account creator Matt, and then you can add the date if you want. You hit apply. We'll go over user attributes and everything later in a later video. Go over all these tabs. Alright, so we have that, but we're not an admin yet. So we need to add ourselves to one of these built-in groups, administrators. So you can do it from the administrator group. You can add us, or you can go to ourself and go to properties. You can right click on properties, or you can double click the account and go to the member of tab, and then add. We'll add ourselves to administrators. We'll add ourselves to domain admins. We'll also add ourselves to schema admins. It's nice having all that power. Alright, so that's good. So now we have the keys to the kingdom. Alright, so we're done with that. We can go ahead and close this. And before I end the video, I'll go ahead and show you what I was talking about for PowerShell. So if you open up PowerShell, as you've seen in the server manager under tools, you've seen we had Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell. So we'll go ahead, and if you go into PowerShell, we'll make this path a little shorter so you can see a little better. You can do import -module, and you can type in server manager. Now that imported the server manager module. It looked like it was already imported, but sometimes you have to import it if it's not. And there's some cool commands. So here's a cool command that you can learn real fast. So let's say you want to know the commands for this module. So you can do git-command -module, then just type server manager. It'll show you every command for server manager. As you notice, there's get Windows feature. So if we paste that in here and we hit enter, it's going to show us all the Windows features. Now if we clear the screen, we'll do that one more time. If you pipe it to more, it won't shoot down the screen like that. It'll let you hit enter every time. So now we can see Active Directory Domain Services is already on here. It's checked. You can also see all the other ones and you just hit enter. Another cool feature is if you're doing reports of some type, you can do the same thing, but instead of more, you can do alt-file, do C, users, administrator, desktop, and we'll type roles.txt. Hit enter. Now we have a file with everything in it, so we know all the roles and features for later if we ever want to review it or anything. So it's a pretty cool trick. I like that. That's also what you can do for server core, which I'll probably make a server core video also. But you would use get Windows command or get command for this module, and as you can see, you can uninstall Windows features, install Windows features, get Windows features. There's so many different things you can do, and these are just some of the commands for servers. So that's the end of this tutorial. The next tutorial will go over installing ADDS and promoting a 2008 R2 server, and then after that, in that video, we'll also do installation from media, which is a little different. Not a lot of people ever do that, but in this case, we'll go ahead and do it, and it's a pretty cool trick. And after that, we'll probably make a server core box and add it to the domain as well, because that's something that's really knowledgeable to have. So, thank you.